Mikey, a point on the board, 2-2 against Altrincham. What was your overall assessment of that?
It was probably fair, wasn't it? You know, when you look at it, I think we had a good go and they had a good go. I think they sort of dominated the last 10 minutes because I think our legs had gone. You know, there was a lot to deal with tonight with the players, and I thought the players dug in when it was against them. And I thought we were exciting at times, and you could hear it from the fans. There was geeing us on, and they knew that we were sort of fatiguing a little bit, but we kept going and kept digging in. Just disappointed with a couple of the mistakes for the goals, but we just had a chat in there, and I didn't want to have a go at the lads because, you know, they're only young lads, and they've got to learn from it. But they had a great game. It's just a shame that when you give someone a bit of information, they don't take it on board. But listen, like I say, they'll learn from it, and we'll grow from there. And it's the first time that back five, including Stocky, have played together. So, you know, I think there's good signs. There's plenty of growth in there. But listen, I think probably a 2-2 draw was probably right for both teams.
Yeah, I mean, compared to Saturday, when one of the main complaints was that the ball wasn't getting up the field quick enough, it was a bit slow. It did feel much faster, much more exciting going forward, but I suppose the flip side is 2 goals conceded. Would you maybe put that down to the back 4, back 5, you know, being new to each other almost?
Yeah, I mean, they caught us off guard because they went with a box that we played on Saturday. So obviously we'd set up for them to play the 4-2-3-1 like they normally do, and they're very good at. And then obviously when they set up in a box, we just stuck with our shape, and it took us a while to get used to it. You know, I thought second half when we come out, I thought we pressed better and forced them into long balls. But in that first half, when they started to break lines, they were dangerous. But that's what you get when you play that system, and that's what we tried to do on Saturday. But we didn't move the ball as quick as what they did. But listen, like, you look at pre-season and you look at the early games. Apart from Saturday, we've played with an intensity for the majority of it. We were just off it on Saturday. Just disappointed that we conceded 2 goals. But we've also got to look at it and say, well, they haven't played together, like I mentioned earlier. It takes time to build that relationship. But I saw enough in them for us to keep working hard and keep building on it. But like I said, they had a lot to deal with tonight as well. So credit to the lads.
Yeah, and lost Alex Woodyard prior to kick-off. When you've prepared for a certain team, certain setup, all the way through, that kind of late change, how much does that affect your preparations?
Yeah, it's tough. We actually plan for scenarios like that, but then we lost the solution that we wanted to go for a situation, which I wasn't happy with. But listen, these things happen in football, and we had to adapt. And it's a massive credit to the players, because we had a number of players who shouldn't have played 90 plus minutes today. You know, and we should have had the personnel to stay in control of what we were doing. We had players playing out of position. But listen, credit to the lads for dealing with that, especially when we were all a bit frustrated that we haven't picked any points up yet, because they could have crumbled, and they didn't, and they stuck together against a really good side who was peppering us late on.
Yeah, and losing Alex, Ollie Dyson went off, looks like an enforced change, but it was walking from what we could see. And then Thierry Fairweather, was that an injury doubt as well, why he was brought off?
Yeah, both took a knock. We didn't want to change anything, no, but even though we're sort of out on our feet, I think, you know, Dice is one of our fittest players, but he took a knock, and it just sort of seized up. We couldn't hear something had happened with the mic, so we couldn't hear what was happening, whether he was coming off or not, and he'd gone off the other side. And so yeah, it was frustrating. But then Len went on and played sort of like that 10 role, so we tried to encourage him to go and play close to dips in possession, and out of possession just drop in because they dominate the midfield. So, and then obviously Mitch came in for Thierry, and I thought he did well to, you know, against a really good player.
It does feel like with his availability, it has been a bit 1 step forward, 2 steps back. We finally got kind of the back 5 that we were preparing for throughout pre-season, but then with lost Alex Woodyard prior to kick-off. I don't know what the early assessment is on Dyson and Thierry, but
yeah,
how disappointing is that?
Yeah, it's frustrating, but I've seen it a million times. And like I sat with Matt yesterday, and we had a chat about this. And in an ideal world, you do the 70-30, you get 70% of your business done before pre-season, and then you do your 30 as you go through pre-season. We've had to do it the other way. You've got to remember, there's a lot of players who have not played loads of minutes. So when you're chasing around and you want to play the way we want to play, it's not easy to play football. You're always constantly on the move, you're always giving angles, and then when you lose it, you want to win the ball back. You know, it's very difficult. There was times where we had to sit off today just to try to save a bit of energy, because when you're playing an extra 12 minutes, 15 minutes or whatever it is, it's difficult. but you know, these are the challenges that we have to go through. We're trying to get a settled team, but people keep pulling up just because they're not rightly conditioned at this moment in time, and we've just got to try map that out and see how we can give the lads rest, but also trying to get them fit.
Yeah, and in terms of giving them rest, it's another game on Saturday, Old Shot Town away, long trip down south. So just what other thoughts going into that one?
Yeah, just take each game as it comes. We'll, you know, we've done some prep on them already, but we'll have a good look tomorrow. See what that looks like. Let the lads have a good rest, and then get in and do some tactical work on Thursday, and then travel down Friday.